It takes only one silent flash in the sky to erase the world you know. That's the part no one wants to admit. Not the experts. Not the governments. Not the people glued to their screens pretending everything is fine. One burst. One invisible shockwave. And in a single heartbeat, modern civilization folds like wet paper. Lights die. Engines stall. Screens turn to glass. And the quiet that follows hits harder than the blast itself. This isn't a movie plot. It's the blueprint of an EMP event. A threat documented, warned about, and conveniently ignored until the day it arrives. Most people think power outages are temporary. Flip a switch. Wait an hour. Order takeout. But this isn't a blackout. This is the erasing of an age. The moment electricity dies, the world rewinds 100 years. But the population doesn't. And here's the brutal truth. Most people wouldn't make it a week. But survival has never belonged to the majority. It belongs to the prepared. The ones who understand that staying alive isn't luck. It's systems. It's tools. It's knowledge that doesn't fry when the grid does. Today, the curtain gets pulled back. Not on what the world loses, but on what still works when everything else doesn't. These are the 12 EMP proof essentials. The gear that keeps a person informed, alive, mobile, and sane. When infrastructure collapses and chaos fills the cracks. Not fantasy gear. Not theory. The real equipment that turns a powerless world into a survivable one. So take a breath. The countdown starts now. 1. Hand crank radio. The last voice in silence. When the pulse takes out communications, the world doesn't just go dark. It goes deaf. No news. No warnings. No coordination. Just isolation. That's why the hand crank radio becomes a lifeline. No batteries. No chargers. Just muscle and a little patience. A few rotations of the crank. And suddenly the silence breaks. Emergency broadcasts. No R alerts. Shortwave signals from miles away. In a world cut off from itself, information becomes the most valuable resource left. Small, rugged, affordable, and absolutely essential. Wrapped in foil or placed inside a Faraday shield. It survives the blast the same way you intend to. And when neighbors are guessing, you're listening. 2. Mechanical wristwatch. Time that never stops. Digital clocks die in an EMP. Phones freeze. Smartwatches become bracelets. But a mechanical watch? That keeps ticking like nothing happened. Time becomes more than a convenience when the grid fails. It becomes a survival metric. Daylight planning. Movement windows. Water boiling schedules. Radio check-in cycles. Without a clock, everything becomes guesswork. A simple twist of the crown brings order back. No satellites. No apps. Just gears, springs, and reliability forged before electricity ruled the world. A small tool. A massive advantage. 3. Solar battery charger, the only power left. The grid dies. But the sun doesn't. That's what makes a solar charger, protected inside a Faraday cage. One of the smartest tools anyone can own. When the world can't plug in, a solar panel becomes the closest thing to magic. Radio batteries charged. Flashlights alive. Backup phone functional. Quiet. Steady. Unstoppable. Panels unfold like wings, catching light, turning it into survival. And while others curse dead batteries, energy flows into your gear every sunrise. 4. Analog ham radios. When voices become rare. When towers die and networks flatline. Communication shrinks to shouting distance. Unless you have a ham radio. Analog models resist EMP by design. No fragile circuits. Just raw signal and range. These radios create community when society collapses, letting survivors coordinate, warn, negotiate, and guide each other through the fog of disaster. A single voice on a frequency can feel like civilization trying to rebuild itself. A survivor's network grows, one transmission at a time. 5. Propane or kerosene stove, fire on demand. When power dies, kitchens die. But propane and kerosene stoves? They don't care about the grid. They burn clean. They heat fast. They work anywhere. Inside with ventilation. Outside in storms. In cabins, tents, garages, or makeshift shelters. Fire becomes certainty. Water boils. Food cooks. Cold retreats. Fuel lasts for years if stored right. Stoves last even longer. When the world goes cold, fire brings life. 6. Manual water filters, the first rule of survival. Food keeps you alive. Water keeps you human. And when taps run dry, the race begins. Lakes, streams, rainwater. Every source becomes an option. And a threat. Manual filters solve that. No power. No circuits. Just pressure and purification. Membranes trap the danger. Clean water flows out. One sip at a time. Survival continues. 7. Hand tools, because electricity won't come back. Power tools fail. Circuits fry. Batteries die. But hammers swing. Wrenches turn. Saws cut. Hand tools become the backbone of rebuilding. Shelters repaired. Barricades reinforced. Fuel wood cut. Broken gear fixed. Steel replaces silicon. Skill replaces convenience. Civilization gets rebuilt. One stroke at a time. 8. Analog compass, because GPS isn't coming back. When satellites go silent, navigation becomes a forgotten art. Most people won't even know which way home is. But a compass still works. Unaffected. Uncomplicated. Unbreakable. It points north whether the world burns or not. With a map. Routes open up. Paths to water, safety, and rendezvous points. Movement becomes intentional instead of desperate. Direction becomes life. 9. Cash and silver, the last real currency. Digital money vanishes in an EMP. Cards stop. Apps fail. Accounts freeze. But cash still trades. Silver trades even better. Week 1. Paper bills still move markets. Food, fuel, medicine, favors. But when people realize the grid isn't returning, silver becomes trust. Recognizable. Uncounterfeitable. Valued everywhere. Money becomes survival. Tangible. Tradable. Real. 10. Mechanical grain grinder, turning supply into food. Grains are everywhere. But raw grain can't feed you. A manual grinder transforms the useless into the edible. Corn becomes meal. Wheat becomes bread. Oats become porridge. No electricity needed. Just hands, time, and patience. When stores empty and supply chains vanish, this tool turns storage into sustenance. 11. Oil lamps and candles, light that never needs a battery. Darkness changes people. It compresses the world. It tightens the mind. But flame pushes that darkness back. Oil lamps and candles bring warmth, steadiness, and calm. They illuminate tasks after sunset. They make long nights survivable. Simple. Ancient. EMP proof. Light that needs nothing but a spark. 12. Faraday cage. The shield that saves everything else. None of this matters. If an EMP wipes out the gear you depend on. Radios. Chargers. Batteries. Backup phone. Gone in an instant. That's why a Faraday cage isn't gear. It's insurance. A metal box. A sealed bag. A grounded container. What's inside survives. What's outside doesn't. It's not luxury. It's protection for your lifelines. Final truth. Survival isn't about fear. It's about foresight. About preparing before the world forces you to. One EMP can erase modern life. But it can't erase preparation. The ones who plan aren't the ones panicking in the dark. They're the ones rebuilding while others freeze. They're the ones adapting while others wait. They're the ones surviving while others hope. The future doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the ready.